and welcome back to the Chemist Confessions podcast.
It's the Christmas one.
It's the Christmas episode. I don't know what that was about, but for those of you weirdly new to our podcast at this time of year.
Specific time of year.
I'm Gloria.
I'm Victoria.
We're two skincare chemists that just like to talk all things skin science over a cup of drinks. What are we having today?
Yeah, so today Gloria has been feeling a little under the weather. So what better way than some hot whiskey, lemon, cinnamon, and honey?
Yeah.
Right. Honey.
Cheers. Wow, that's really potent. That will put some hair on your chest and cure whatever you got.
When you exhale, it's just alcohol and cinnamon. All right, ratios might need to be adjusted. But yeah, anyways, today is really special. It is our last podcast of the year.
Hence the thematic sweaters.
Yep. And to kind of sum up, we're just going to sum up this year for us. This year in terms of skincare trends and education. Also share some of our personal anecdotes with our relationship with skincare. So all in all, it should generally be fun.
Yeah, we're going to keep it casual per usual. Let us know if you have any questions.
Yep.
Cool. First up, brand update / review.
Oh, what have we done, Gloria?
Well, when putting this together, I was looking back at some of our old email threads. I was looking back at our older podcast episodes. Man, we've had some stock issues.
Right. I'm sure all of our listeners are pretty used to maybe every other month being like, yeah, remember that time we said things wouldn't be out of stock? Well.
So we opened the year with Aquafix being out of stock. And then
rough time.
When it came back in stock, we quickly had to announce that Bon Voyage was out of stock. And then when we were making the Bon, we were like, whoa, our cleanser is really low. So it's been a rough year. I'm sure you guys have heard about how janky the supply chain has been. Things sitting at dock waiting for a month just to be taken in. Hopefully we're in the clear. We're not anticipating any...
Knocking on a lot of wood right now.
Any major out of stock catastrophe. So fingers crossed for 2023.
Yeah, and honestly, it's not the worst problem to have. We've been generally just feeling overall pretty happy with the general state of our small business. It has been growing in a great way, and we're just learning how to scale to that and obviously do production the right way. So all in all good things, good problems, not the worst ones to have.
And really, for those of you new to us, our content and our brand, we are bootstrapped. It's 99% just, well, I shouldn't say that anymore. Thankfully, we've grown a little bit. But for a really long time, it's really just the two of us writing the scripts, doing the recording, making our formulas.
Still doing that.
So thank you all for growing with us and being patient with us through all these issues.
Yeah, everyone's been incredibly encouraging, honestly very patient and understanding. And, on that note, that's also something that has happened for us this year is just general upgrade of our small business. Few episodes back, you might have seen a third person pop her head in. We were able to hire a marketing assistant, our lovely Ava, to help us with a lot of our social media content side. We're lucky to have her. If for those of you that might have asked questions recently, you're talking to the lovely Ava.
Hi. I'm Dory.
Who has been sharing and generally just helping us manage all of that. We still are the ones answering a lot of your questions, but all in all, that's been very, very helpful for us. And you might have noticed some much better photography.
Thank the Lord.
We're shedding happy tears because that used to be her job.
Yeah, so you'll see pictures like we'll put it on the screen here, and here.
Yeah.
We found a lovely photographer locally. Check out her work, her IG handle. Oh, what is her IG handle?
Yeah, check out her work. Her IG handle is Graceful Face Photography. And we are so happy to have found her. She seems to be used to our kooky ideas. So it's been fun, and holy cow has really helped elevate and really showcase our products. So that's been nice. Other than that, we've been upgrading our sizes. We are trying to, a lot of you have asked about Mr. Reliable. And yes, so in the next version, it will be a bigger 50 ml similar to Aquafix. So that's something we're continuing to do with a lot of our product staples. But all in all, yeah, that's a lot.
Yeah. We also finished our first clinical study this year. It just concluded. The results are not quite ready yet. The full report will be in very, very soon. So we'll be sharing it to open up the new year. So keep an eye out for that.
Yeah.
We're really excited about that. We talk about how to decipher clinical data, how to, like brands who do clinicals, like what the undertaking was really like, and finally having the budget to do it ourselves and do it well, do it to the way that we like was really important, a big milestone for us and our brand. So really can't wait to share the data.
Yeah. On a personal note, this year we both got married.
Not to each other.
Yes. Not to each other. To separate people. We have been asked this before.
Real people. Not cover up people. They exist. We promise.
Yeah. So, I honestly, 2022 has been really wild. We always say every year, we're like, this is the wild year. But
actually, yeah, every year. The last episode, this year has been quite a year.
Yeah, but holy cow, planning weddings while trying to grow a business is no joke. But all in all, the weddings have been magical. Yes, we were part of each other's wedding, so that was good times.
Yeah, it was really fun. My wedding was in November, and Victoria was back in May. So she had half a year worth of therapy of like, it's gonna be fine. You want to murder Chris now, but it's just a phase.
Yeah.
You might want to punch him in the face repeatedly during this wedding planning phase, but it's natural. It happens.
You know which bridesmaid is most useful? The one that allows you to treat her as a therapy person. Because that person has to listen to all of the drama that happens in wedding planning. And, I think we try pretty hard I don't think either of us have grand plans for a wedding. Yeah. But it's such a massive undertaking for two people to, do parties of 150, 200 people. So, but it was fun.
Yeah,
Success.
It was fun. So, woo!
Yeah, we also did some COVID traveling because, all of those out of stock issues. Our manufacturing is all done in Taiwan. However, their COVID restrictions just lifted only recently, so we did travel during that time. That was also a very interesting experience.
Yep. So for those of you who don't know, during the peak of COVID in Asia, there are very, very strict quarantine rules. So most of Asia, when you go, you have to stay in the same hotel room for 2 full weeks for your quarantine. It was interesting.
Yeah, I will say when we did that, Gloria and our quarantine times overlapped. So I think Gloria went first, and then I came in maybe 1 week after. So we had an overlap of 1 week. And we literally watched each other's evolution of quarantine, where in the beginning we're like, dude, this is amazing. We're like, we literally cannot do anything but have a computer and just kind of almost have this a lot of me time, I guess. And then we hit day 10, and we each watched each other panic about how oh my god, I'm not gonna make it.
So I should have kept that sheet of paper. I walked in and I was like, I'm not gonna sit on my butt, and this is pre-wedding. So I'm not gonna sit here and just collect my Uber Eats points and not do anything. That's terrifying, because you literally all you need to do is all you can do all day is wake up, walk from your bed to the bathroom, and that's your range of motion. Yeah. So I made sure I bought all the resistance bands. I got my workout videos ready to go. I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna work out every day. And you literally see the log of me working out. Day 1, 2 videos, 100 push-ups, whatever, doc, all that checklist. And by day 7, you're you saw me right now, workout, no description. And day 8, nothing. Day 8, by day 14, I was like, basically a vegetable, just laying there.
Yeah, seriously. But yeah, that was very interesting time. It feels like COVID was like 3 years ago, only to remember that, yes, we were
It was
dealing
earlier
with that
this
still
year.
in the beginning. Yeah, and then finally, we had a lot of failed projects. We're honest about it. I think, honestly, with anyone that, is starting a project or journey or even business, there's a lot of really great ideas and great initiatives, and they all die.
Yeah, I think we literally have a folder called Ideas Graveyard.
Yeah.
And to be honest, that hasn't even been updated to include the recent.
The Ideas Graveyard went to the graveyard? No.
So one of the things that we said we were going to do this year that we did not do is episode 2 of this year. We were like, hey guys, look forward to our new IG live format. We are going to come on live every 2 weeks to talk about a brand and do a deep dive and tell you what's good and what's not good in a brand. Woo! How many episodes did we do?
I think we did one.
I think we did one on The Ordinary.
Yes.
And we had some lovely friends who are like, oh my god, this is so good, I love it.
Yeah. To be fair, making an excuse for us, that was before Reels just populated everything. So then even the IGTV, that format kind of died off.
Yeah.
And we couldn't even archive really all of that
it
work.
was a very awkward time.
So I think we definitely use that as an excuse to let that project die.
Yeah.
But we should be better about that. That's we'll be better about that.
This episode is gonna end on us making dreams and wishes about 2023. Feel free to hold us accountable for whatever we say we're gonna do but didn't.
Yeah, and I think we also talked about the bi-weekly podcast. That was something that we were trying to work on, and then obviously with a lot of the brand side of things, the product side of things, that also kind of fell through. So yeah, it's been but we dream big. We've got a lot of ideas. So
big things coming 2023, and we'll definitely be on top of the launch schedule this year.
Yeah, for sure. But all in all, I think I'm very much looking forward to 2023. I know this is something we're saving for the end, but just a sneak peek. We've got a lot of big plans that we can't wait to share with you guys. So yeah, stay tuned.
Stay tuned.
All right. So that's the brand side.
This year,
yeah.
I was going to say this year we also took on a really big and very different type of project.
Yeah.
And you might have heard in our past 2 episodes of us talking about our work with Revella.
Yeah.
So that's also taking up a big chunk of time.
Yeah.
But it's honestly really exciting and very different, and covering Victoria, sometimes it's good to take a step away and put different lenses on, because Chemist Confessions can become super, super, I don't know, it just feels like your whole life is just consumed with thoughts of CC. So by working with Revella and working on the launch of their proprietary molecule, and joining on board for that team, it's been a very interesting and very different aspect of what we do.
Yeah, no, for sure. When we first talked about Revella, we obviously, with CC being a small indie brand, there are certain aspects about our R&D skill set that we don't actually get to exercise too much. Really more on, even at the ingredient, more upstream R&D level. That was something that we found really interesting. And to be honest, as the years go by, you're going to see much more of this kind of work being done. We're already seeing it infiltrate the industry in a lot of ways. So honestly, generally has been a really good learning experience for us. A lot of work for sure. I think we had mentioned, next year, actually in the beginning of January, Revella will be unveiling their first skincare product, where yes, we definitely had a hand in. So we're very, very excited for all of that. They've got more proprietary ingredients coming down the pipeline, so generally not the project we ever thought we would take on.
Yeah.
I think this year, but has been good.
Yeah.
Good for us. Yeah.
So one more thing to stay tuned for.
Yeah.
The product's coming out in January, so there will be a lot of info coming out, including the product we formulated, the clinicals that we also help oversee, the data that came from the clinical.
Yeah. Yeah. So anyways, all right, we should definitely end this segment on our favorite nice words of the year. So I'll let Gloria go first.
Yeah, so I picked up one about the double play. The title is Great for Experienced Retinol Users and Newbies Alike. I love everything the chemists make, so I was really excited to try this. I've been using tretinoin for years, but I don't really like to use it around my eyes. So I'm really happy to have it for that purpose. The texture is perfect for an eye cream, very easy to tap on, and I haven't had any issues with it running or irritating my eyes. Also, like the packaging, although I wish the lid twisted on or had some lock mechanism to keep it secure. I'm afraid of losing it. It does have a cap that covers the pump. I also got one for my partner who suddenly developed an interest in skincare despite having annoyingly perfect skin. We can absolutely relate. His routine previously consisted of washing his face with water in the shower. He did not listen to my detailed instructions, immediately way overused it, caused redness and flaking for a few days. But now he's back on track and using SPF 2. So new retinol users following the instructions, and this is the real deal.
Yes. And also, thank God for her for knowing, to help out the partner on board. I think that is just like the best example of a retinol intro story where you put on way too much, way too fast. So
side story, for my wedding, I bought my now husband a gift. The gift of good skin. I brought him to our.
I feel like he has decent skin already.
He does have decent skin. He's he's acne prone. So through the years of dealing with acne, and he can't help but pop them. He's accumulated some acne scars and a little bit of discoloration from that I know he's a little self-conscious about. So I brought him to our lovely esthetician friend Angela for his first micro needling sesh, and for like the whole month after, I'm like, did you sunscreen? I was like the sunscreen police. I'll literally pop out from behind the door, but did you sunscreen?
And like, God.
But yeah, can totally feel your pain trying to get your partner to stay on top of that SPF.
For real. No, that's awesome. And yeah, we're, funny story about double play and this year. We launched double play end of 2021. But us, small business, being chemists, not marketers, apparently didn't launch it in great fanfare. And so recently, people had asked us when we had shared new marketing communication on it. They were like, "Oh my God, is this a new launch? I'm so happy for
exciting.
You." And we're just like, yeah, I guess.
Fatality. That hurts so much.
Yeah, so fun story of the year. But yeah, anyways, all right. Next review. This one is definitely my favorite for 2023. It's a 1-star review. And this one's about Aquafix. So the title is Aquafix Before Mr. Reliable. Remember, this is a 1-star review. It works beautifully to introduce the moisturizer, Mr. Reliable. Recently, Mr. Reliable was out of stock, and I used it successfully with other products I am trying to use up. 1 star.
Thank you, Anonymous.
Thank you. Thank you. I guess if it were a 1 star, could be worse.
Could be one of the best stars, one big star.
Yeah, one very, very big star. All right. Okay. One last one. Oh no, we got one more after.
We got 2 more.
Yeah.
These are relatively short. This one's for Gold Standard.
Yeah.
And the title is Absolutely Amazing. Says, takes care of my acne so swiftly and barely stings in comparison to other actives. I have 0 breakouts the next morning. Thank you, Chemist Confessions, for allowing me to try your wonderful product.
You're welcome.
I am hooked. Will definitely be purchasing more in the future. I really love this brand and their generosity and loyalty to Super Great. For those of you who don't know, we've done a couple lives and giveaways on the platform Super Great. Make sure to join if you're reading this. Thank you.
Yeah.
I wanted to call this one out because I think we try to communicate what each of our assets are for, or what assets are for in general. But sometimes it's really hard to segment it completely because it overlaps, right? We have a specialist that's more designed for acneic skin.
Yeah.
It's got gentler AHA mandelic acid compared to the glycolic that is in gold standard. But the reality is, finding your exfoliant is kind of just dependent on you, on what your skin is going through. Glycolic acid can absolutely be helpful for acneic skin. Yeah. So, yeah.
Definitely. No, that's such a good point. I think sometimes, we segment it the way we did based on more of a general way to start. But of course, skin is quirky, and there are definitely oily skin types that are like, I don't do well with mandelic acid. I really don't do well with salicylic acid. Mm-hmm. And you absolutely can expand out and try other exfoliants. There's no one telling you should try those other ones can't provide those benefits. So I think that's such a good point. Yeah. All right, so we got one last one. This is actually from our Amazon store. And yes, we've actually had a few people that will specifically personally write to us to make sure that the products that they purchase on Amazon are actually from us. And we definitely want to say, yes, they are. And we're actually very grateful to them because they're like, I just want to double check this isn't counterfeit and someone's not stealing your products, So yeah, it's really awesome. But this review is very cool that Gloria found. This is from Melody. 5 stars. And in all caps, it says, what is this? And she writes, why is this so good? How is it so lightweight, but also moisturizing for a long time? To be honest, I never leave product reviews, but this one was so good that I had to. The texture is gorgeous, spreads easily, and coats the skin beautifully. My mom even told me on FaceTime that my skin looks so good after I use this. Please make a jumbo-sized version of this or a bigger version, please. I love it so much. Need it in my life every day.
Ooh, that makes us so happy.
So glad you love Mr. Reliable. I gotta start that. Thank you so much. We are really happy with the original Mr. Reliable texture, but we are definitely going to up that formula. So more on that later. Okay. Woo. All right. So that ends it for brand news.
All right. So now it's time to get into the news. And instead of doing actual news, we are going to do a look back at 2022 things, including the launches we covered and, all the trend predictions that came out from early this year. Did they come true or what happened? Yeah. First up, celebrity bingo cards.
Right. How did we do, Gloria?
We did really poorly. So we'll put ours up here. So on Victoria's card, she had the likes of Sierra, Doja Cat, Lil Nas, some TikToker, which I don't think is technically counts as a hit.
It's a cheat.
Yeah. Adele, Dua Lipa, Zoe Kravitz. And on Gloria's card, I have the likes of, I also have Dua Lipa, Lil Nas, Cardi B, Cristiano Ronaldo. I thought he would capitalize on World Cup, but, I guess he got distracted. Justin or Hailey Bieber, which was a hit. Brooke Shields, Snoop Dogg was another one. I mean, I was waiting for his CBD line all along. Snoop.
But it wasn't him.
It wasn't him.
It was Travis Barker.
Why? Anyway, so while that didn't work out, I also have Giselle Bundchen. I guess she got distracted by getting a divorce. But while that didn't work out, there were still a lot of celebrity launches this year. Which one was the most surprising to you, Victoria?
Okay. I gotta say, I did not ever expect Brad Pitt to launch a skincare line. I don't think he actually cares about his skin too much.
He strikes me as the type of guy who goes surfing without sunscreen.
Exactly. And I think you can kind of see that, and maybe some skin texture changes. It just doesn't strike me as someone that, might wash his face with more than water in the shower kind of scenario. So yeah, I think that would be one I would have never seen coming.
I will have to agree, and I think the episode where we talked about Brad Pitt's launch, we talked about what we remember Brad Pitt, us, even though he's been in a gazillion movies, and both of us said Inglourious Bastard. So then, you were here to kill some Nazis. You don't associate that with good skincare. So, but yes, that's one of the more surprising ones.
Yep. We also had Kim K, of course, with her new line. ScarJo came out with one, and even Hailey Bieber herself.
Yeah. And I think we also had Travis Barker that we already talked about.
Mm-hmm. We talked about Sierra's vitamin C punched in vitamin C in every format skincare line. Yeah. So I think the general feeling is there will always be another celebrity skincare launch, but this year, we have definitely seen a lot more pushback against celebrity launches. Mm-hmm. So while I don't know if these will ever go away, it is nice to see there is a healthy level of criticism with some of these, general brands. So, yeah.
So, I think we brought out ScarJo launching a skincare line, but when we talked about it, the line wasn't out yet. So, to be fair to her line, we decided to do a really quick decode here. Mm-hmm. And this is her Smoothing Vitamin C Expression Line Cream. And I'm just going to read off the ingredient list or the top half of it very quickly. So it has water, silica, cetyl alcohol, sucrose polysteroid, triethanoin, propane-diol, stearyl alcohol, C1316 isoalkane, cetyl alcohol, glycerin, Saccharomyces ferment, diheptosuccinate, cassia, blah, 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 carrageenan, ascorbyl glucoside. I found the vitamin C.
Yeah. Took a while, Gloria. Now you can breathe.
So yeah, the takeaway here is
it's a cream.
It's a cream. Ascorbyl glucoside is likely in there at very, 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 very low levels, which is probably too low to matter. It is a lower use level vitamin C, but you still need a solid 1% to 2% for it to work. I also want to point out the silica.
Yeah, I saw that as the second ingredient. I'm like, oh, Gloria, I know why Gloria wanted to call this product out. Because, Gloria, how do you feel about silica?
I hate it. So, the name of the product is the Smoothing Vitamin C, whatever, cream, right? So, the silica actually probably contribute to the smoothing effect. It's supposed to help fill the lines and create that kind of like silky canvas and make your skin appear. It's an instant effect to make it look smoother.
Yeah, so we should say this is not an ingredient that provides a long-term benefit or actually, really does anything outside of a visual component that happens.
Right.
Yeah.
I personally hate it because I find those silica powder to be pretty drying.
Yeah.
I think at lower levels in cream, it can really help make that finish touch really nice and soft. Mm-hmm. But as a second ingredient, a second slot, that's a lot of silica. That's a lot of powder.
Yeah, it is. That, and also, all in all, it's just not probably our favorite emulsion, we would say. And, for us, we would not really recommend this as like maybe hardworking vitamin C product as well. So you can give this a pass.
Yeah. So then my last question before I move on from celebrities is, if someone forced you to buy one of these celebrity products,
please,
of them,
anything but that, please.
Which one would you be like, okay, I suppose?
Oh, I mean, it's got to be Jared Leto Essence, whatever, 29 Palm skincare. I would say, all in all, I think the thing that makes celebrity skincare the most eye-rolly is price point. Mm-hmm. So I will entertain anything that is more of a reasonable price point. I know I poked fun at Sierra's vitamin C line, but actually she uses a substantial amount of vitamin C and different types in her products. They're not the most expensive. I would not buy the entire line, but I wouldn't mind if I used one of her products as my vitamin C product.
That's a good point.
Yeah. Gloria.
I think I'll have to just say rose skincare.
Yeah.
Probably going along the lines of, like the price point being non-offensive. We did in the episode where we talked about rose skincare, we compared it to Kim K's launch.
Yeah.
And they have a slightly similar ingredient basis list.
Yeah.
Kim K's line is triple the price, I think. And just in terms of like, oh, well, if they're okay moisturizers, I would go for the one that's not as offensive.
You tried.
I tried so hard. Okay.
Yeah. Okay. Awesome. Yeah. So, all right. What next?
Cool. So, of course, given that this is the last episode of the year, we have to look at some of the stuff we talked about in the beginning, which is the Vogue article that talks about that came out in January this year.
Yes.
Talking about what trends they foresee.
How did we do?
So one of the trends that keep popping up at the beginning of the year is skin minimalism.
Yeah.
Skin minimalism was definitely a thing in 2022. I think people are dialing back to the basics after a whole year of, using high-level peels, doing your retinols. People are like, maybe just keep it simple this year.
Yeah, exactly. Some other things we talked about at the beginning of the year was anti-inflammatory skincare, which makes a lot of sense because last year was all about active, so it makes sense we want to dial it back and focus on the skin barrier. The other one was at-home treatments, as well as sunscreen, always.
Sunscreen is always big, and I really do feel like there's no such thing as bad press.
Yeah.
We have people that shares a lot about sunscreen during the summer months for good reasons, like protecting your skin from sun damage or skin cancer. But then you also get a lot of things that's like, ooh, the coral reefs, the benzene scare, the bloodstream stuff. But all in all, like people are just very aware of how important sunscreen is to your skincare routine in general.
I have to call out my brother. He's 24. He is religious about skincare. Or not even skincare, sorry. He is religious about sunscreen. And I feel like a young male who's like conscious of that is like unheard of in our generation. But I feel like, man, like each generation as they learn more and more, it's just now sunscreen is truly a staple in their routines now. So I'm like, honestly, so impressed. It's better than me when I was his age.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Yeah. Okay. We also got LED light masks.
I didn't see a lot of new launches in that department. We saw a couple really fancy ones. I think one of the ones we looked at was like that we did in Prices Right or in Claims Corner was like a $1,500
that's right.
mask.
Yeah.
Which you can probably get a treatment done in office.
You could get multiple.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. There's also the inside-outside approach, which is probably more on the supplement side and how that can impact skin over time. Yeah, that definitely, that really blew up, but, don't have a lot of strong feels about that. And ceramides and essential fatty acids, which I think, was really big this year. Cool. Anything else?
So I think that's pretty much it for the trends. I think for the most part, the predictions are on point. Curious to see what's to come for 2023. My personal opinion is I think skincare is likely to kind of stay the course, kind of more about skin barrier and nurturing yourself. I think there will be more and more brands that come out that talk about high tech in skincare, whether it's devices or biotechnology concepts in skincare, and we'll be here to decode them all.
You know what I think will be a trend?
Yes.
Chemist skincare.
Oh,
you heard it here first, guys.
Yep. Yeah.
It's happening. All right, cool. So, I think that's it for the news.
Yep. And today we're going to move on. Now we're going to move on to the meats. And today it's going to be simple, short and sweet to tie up the year.
Yeah.
Basically, our goal is to get everyone ready for your new year, new me. Just basically building out a strong foundational routine and get ready for 2023.
Right. So let's build that foundation, Gloria.
All right. We have been harping on this. You guys might be tired of hearing us say this, but
we don't care.
We don't care. There's three main things to keep in mind. Just your cleanse, moisturize, sun protection. Doesn't matter your age, your skin type, wherever you are in the world,
Yeah.
these are the 3 basic blocks of skincare. Of course, like depending on these things like your skin type, where you're at geographically, there might be tweaks that you make to make it work for your skin type. But it doesn't matter what TikTok trend you're trying out. It's just important to keep these 3 steps in mind every day.
For sure. And, you know, we harp on this like your nagging mother because ultimately the idea is we always want to prevent someone from getting to a point of anxiety where they feel the need to reset their entire routine because let's say maybe you got carried away with, you know, certain actives or you traveled and now your skin is at odds with itself. So, you know, the idea is, you know, with this foundation, you know that this is your skin's like base level need that you can always fall back on. Kind of what we were saying in the beginning of this episode. So that's why we always, you know, it is really important. It's always nice to have that anchor so that you can build upon it with all the fun stuff.
Yeah. And on the theme of just cleanse, moisturize, and protection, I pulled a couple of questions that people have asked us throughout this year about these things. So first up, are surfactants bad for you?
No, they are not. And stop saying that.
Yeah, that's something that we see a lot, especially with I feel like TikTok culture.
What did surfactants do?
Yeah,
What did they do? I don't understand.
I feel like people love saying scandalous things. Like, did you know that surfactants can fuck your skin up? Like, anyway, maybe not exactly those colorful languages, but something very, very outrageous, very scandalous, gets the headlines. But surfactants, first of all, big, broad category of ingredients. Huge. So to say that one whole category of ingredients is bad for you is just kind of lazy. The reality is cleansers in general. So dial back half a step. Surfactants are your cleansing ingredients. They're the main functional ingredients in your shampoos, in your face washes. People associate it with being bad for your skin because when it's either formulated too strongly or certain types of surfactants can interact too well with your skin. So it might, instead of just interacting with the dirt and grime, it can also attach to your lipids and your proteins, and that could cause dryness.
Yeah, and I think the thing that we just want to remind you guys is that in order for something to clean, you're going to need a surfactant. So while you might have, I think we've all had a really bad cleanser experience. I felt like my high school self personally sought out those really bad experiences.
Yeah, strip my skin.
Yeah, I was like, yeah, strip so good. But all in all, we do need those, you know, to actually remove dirt, grime, makeup, especially those really, really stubborn long-wear makeup. So yeah, don't write it off too quickly. We're gonna need those, guys.
Yes, correct.
Yeah.
Next, moisturizer. I feel like this year the biggest moisturizer trend is slugging.
Yeah.
And then hyaluronic acid. I can't believe that thing is trending again. But I find
back.
it is back. And I find it so interesting because those two concepts, ingredients are actually two completely different functionalities in the moisturizer world.
Yeah, for sure. And I will say of the two, we see hyaluronic acid as really nothing more than a hydrator. You might hear about it for its anti-aging purposes or how it's naturally found in skin and blah until you see sorry.
I've seen people dub it the line eraser or something crazy like that.
Yeah, no. Until you see the clinical, ask for the evidence. We're not, you know, going to, let's say, drop any of our other great actives for that guy. So yeah, anyways, I personally, on the slugging thing, still can't do it. I'm sorry. My oily acneic skin still freaks out at the idea of it. But if oily skin types are looking for a way to kind of have that slugging experience, I would recommend a face oil instead. Just a couple drops is good enough for us.
Yep. For me, Yeah, slug on, my friends.
Slug on, baby.
The greasier, the better. Actually, I will say where I draw the line is I know sometimes people layer on a pretty thick layer. Yeah. If I need to wash my pillowcase every night, I'm not doing it.
Yeah.
So for me, it's a thin layer will do the job. Yeah. In extra problematic zones, like around my nose a little bit, I will put on a slightly thicker layer.
For sure.
But otherwise, I would just dab on a thin layer over face.
Yeah.
Cool.
One of the other things is definitely about sunscreen. We've definitely done a lot of sunscreen content this year, a lot around the UV reveal. And we got some questions about, in terms of, from a clinical standpoint, efficacy standpoint, how relevant is that content? Yeah.
Not very. They're kind of anecdotal, and for us, the point around the UV reveal always is to kind of share general awareness. So for example, we did one comparing lip SPF and kind of show the different formulas like wearing and tearing throughout us, like eating and drinking. Obviously it's just us and our marketing assistant Ava playing around the office with the three of us. It's not a definitive like this brand sucks or this is awesome. Yeah, it's just kind of a way for us to highlight what are some of the things you should keep in mind. So in the lip SPF, you should think about how it feels across your lip. Does it form an even film? Does it last? Do you feel it just rubbing off after drinking and snacking? Just some of the things to keep in mind. And also I think one of the other big goals of us using a UV reveal is highlighting how important it is to reapply.
Yeah, and I think the other thing, if you want a takeaway from the content, it's really about the application method. A lot of people don't really understand why you have to reapply every 2 hours, or why there is such claims as water resistance, and the fact that in the US you even can't really claim sweat resistance. So being able to showcase why these things matter, how they can impact a film. It's never about, this formula, comparing different formulas. It's just about how to think about the use of skincare in our daily lives, and that's it. That's all it should be.
So next, once you have your skincare foundations covered, everyone wants to go into actives. So the two of us want to say that for 2023, if you're building out your skincare routine, we want to challenge you guys to make two things part of that foundational staple in your routine. And one is to exfoliate.
Hell yeah.
Yes.
Hell yeah.
Actually, as we were working the Chemist Confessions, we realized that, exfoliation is just not sexy.
No, not sexy at all. It doesn't garner a lot of hype. It doesn't really make people want to, be mindful of it, just because I think the general idea of exfoliating, skin shedding is kind of just like a very meh, like, okay.
Oh yeah, for sure. And but it is a very important part of your skin health. And it makes a bigger impact on your overall skin
for sure
performance skin condition than you think. We of course are big fans of chemical exfoliants. A gentle physical exfoliant is great for you as well. So definitely it can be a big part of your skin routine.
And I definitely want to just emphasize probably the most basic fundamental concepts of skin turnover. People don't understand that when you don't have regular skin turnover, a lot of those skin cell cycles are impacted. Things are slower, your general keratinocytes that are too stubborn, they all impact the way skin looks, all of these skin concerns.
And it makes you drier.
Exactly.
It really makes you really dry.
So that's why you can make an argument that exfoliants should actually be a fundamental in anyone's skincare routine to make sure that cycle stays consistent. So it's another point on, more of like age prevention, just general skin health. It's also why you'll see exfoliants in body lotions that are geared towards seniors. So yeah, I'm all for it. I really think I'm in the camp of should be part of your fundamentals.
Glycolic acid.
Yeah. Okay, and what's the other active?
Antioxidants in general. I know people are tired of us saying this, but vitamin C really is the gold standard antioxidant here. So if you can have vitamin C as a staple in your routine,
I just want to say it still does nothing for me.
It's like a
Which
religious.
I guess it shouldn't do nothing, but I'm just saying it's really hard to feel like, yes, I need this every day.
We do realize that exfoliate or antioxidant is like kind of a skincare religious moment.
It is.
Because if it does what it's supposed to do, which is to prevent damage,
Then my afterlife will
then
be
nothing
amazing.
and nothing happens. And maybe 30 years from now, when the two of us are eating in a cafe and people are like, are you chemist confessions? And we're like, we still look like what we looked like on YouTube. That's so touching. That's the goal. But on a day-to-day basis, it's hard to be like, yeah, this vitamin C is awesome.
Yeah, at least for me. I feel like for you definitely, it helps with
Pigmentation.
your pigmentation.
A lot,
Yeah, I'm just saying. That's just my personal. Sorry. Anyways, all right, moving on.
So to sum up the little tidbit we just covered, a good, well-rounded, basic routine for anyone will look something like cleanse, antioxidant / vitamin C, moisturize, sunscreen for your day, and at night you cleanse using AHA. Now this doesn't have to be daily depending on the type of products you use. If you're using a higher level product like the gold standard, this can be just once a week. And moisturize. That's it. And honestly, we totally understand people who go crazy, want to try new things, but we keep reiterating that as long as you got these steps set, you're like 80% of the way there.
95. I'm sorry. I think that's like really good. And you have this basis where you can experiment with all the other fun stuff, but this really covers a huge majority of all your needs.
Yeah. And now this episode feels really long, so whatever that question is.
Let's do it.
Yeah. And then to wrap up this section, the two of us are going to share some personal anecdotes of some of the new products we've tried in each category this year. To start, cleansers. This year I tried a couple more anhydrous or oil / balm based cleansers, and one newer formulas I tried is a skin based foaming oil cleanser. To me, I don't think this texture is great for everyone. It's a little funky, right? It pumps up into an oil foam that you swoop around the face. It kind of slides around. Shorp. Yeah, that's exactly how it feels, and it does a pretty good job cleaning. On me, there's a slight residue that I know not everyone will enjoy, but because it's more or less oil based, it does do a good job taking off my makeup and everything else too without rubbing too hard. So that's one. And I've also tried the Mahalo Balm Cleanser this year. That one I really like. It's like it smells great. I think the way the balm breaks apart is awesome. So those are the two I've tried and I really enjoyed.
I think this is a confession. This category I was probably the worst about in terms of really trialing. I will say that I have tried more oil or anhydrous formulas this year than I have previously, but
I hated them all.
it is tough, but I also realized, man, I suck at removing eye makeup. And I've had a lot of weddings this year. I've had my own wedding, a Gloria's wedding, so it's been a time where I've really needed it. So next year, I will actually come out with some takeaways, or at least try to. I think it's still tough. It still feels really filmy. I definitely have to double cleanse. So that's just, general anecdotes. I could be better.
Next, sunscreens.
Yes. There were a lot. Biore came out with a very beautiful new fluid. It was meant to be more hydrating, which is why I had to grab it for Gloria to trial. All in all, I think it's a really good texture, and I would say better than the La Roche-Posay fluid that I'm used to loving. Yeah.
So we'll put the picture up here. It's kind of like a blue pill-shaped bottle. I was pleasantly surprised because fluids tend not to be very hydrating on me, but this one really worked. So
And you didn't feel dry.
Yeah. It did form. It's very obvious that it left a film. But the film wasn't uncomfortable. Like if I pull in my face, I can feel it. But it's not like I'm like, oh, my face is filmy. It's a really good formula
for sure. And then Ali has really made headway in the sunscreen realm. So We've trialed new Supergoop formula. We've also trialed a lot of lip sunscreens. Gloria is now a true champion of Jack Black's lip sunscreen.
Love their lip sunscreen.
A lot of work there. And then in terms of moisturizers.
Yeah, I had a happy find this year, which is a Patchology full-on like face mask.
Yeah.
I think the one I really like is in their yellow packet. I think it's called like Glow or something like that. First of all, their cut was really good on me. It's a lot of times I really don't like sheet mask that's way too wide and goes into my hairline, and I always feel the need to like wash my hair afterwards or at least a bit of a residue. But this one like fit my face really well.
Yeah, and I really think they're the gel component. I've trialed a lot of the eye patches, and a lot of them feel like they just kind of like splat on skin and just slide around without really doing much. But there is something about Patchology's formula paired with the fabric, the gel component, that it just feels very moisturized after. So I totally agree. It's definitely our favorite sheet mask brand. And then we should probably talk about our new Mr. Reliable, because that's definitely what we've been testing this past year.
Yeah, now that you mentioned it, I feel like I didn't try any new, not seriously, any new moisturizers this year.
And why is that, Gloria?
It's because, I feel like we got a lot of questions in 2021 about this new Mr. Reliable formulas that we've been previewing this year in the spring. Yeah, so that didn't happen, as you can see, but we're very close. It should be coming January.
Close.
We had a lot of. It's a very sensitive formula. We updated all the active ingredients and we got really ambitious pushing on the formulas.
Yeah.
And for those of you who might be aspiring chemists in the field, what that means is scale-up problems.
I think we've hit problems with pretty much every stage in building the formula, in trying to put all the actives together, in trying to scale it. It's just been every point has had some sort of troubleshooting. We're very proud of it, which is why we're continuing to fight the good fight to get this launched, and hopefully in the beginning of January we will actually have a date for this. I'm saying it now.
It's happening. Yeah, so stay tuned. It's definitely coming very soon.
Yeah. All right.
Actives we tried this year.
Yeah, so we will share this soon. I've been trying a lot of vitamin C serums, more on the water-based kind of SkinCeutical dupes that you can buy on Amazon. So we've looked at things like Timeless, Hannah Mueller, CosRx new vitamin C formula, as well as Dr. Brenner, which I'm going to be trying next. And we'll share those thoughts, because as someone who is slightly skeptical of what the benefits are, we'll love to share our general findings. We did a little blip that focused on Timeless, general packaging, shelf life, what to do when you buy. So we'll love to share all of that when you shop on Amazon.
Awesome. So that concludes the short-term meet this episode. And it's time to break up. Woo! All right, it's Animal Fun Corner, and this is the year-end review episode.
Oh, God.
So we cover a lot of wacky animals of this year.
We sure did.
And we wanted to share what our favorites are.
Yeah.
And I'll go first. I have to say, it's gotta be the camel beauty pageant.
I totally agree. That was a really good one. You want a camel as beautiful as Kim K is what I learned.
Yes. So I pulled, for that episode, I pulled the criteria. Well, I learned that there's camel beauty pageants. So for me, my first train of thought goes to, well, what counts as a beautiful camel?
Yeah.
So I looked it up, and there's a very serious list of criteria it has to hit. Mm-hmm. So the coat has to be smooth and bright. The neck has to be long, wide, elegant, and lean, but not too lean. And the head should be large and upright, as well proportioned to the rest of the body. Lips are pouty and pendulous, and the upper lip being cleft. Chin is visible from the front side, and eyes are wide and long with dark lashes. Ears are long, furrowed, and pricked up, also to keep the sand out. Last but definitely not least, the hump should be large and shapely.
Oh, my.
In the usual position close to the back. As opposed to what? I don't really know, but cool. A good posture and a large hump may increase the camel's chance of winning.
Are you sure they're talking about a camel? I mean, when you say in the usual position close to the back, one can only assume what hump that could be.
Yes. So it's a very serious thing where winners can take home millions.
Yeah.
And this story first caught my eye because there's been scandals of people cheating at camel competitions by injecting their camels with Botox and fillers.
They never asked for it. They love who they are in their skin.
They're happy as is with their slightly lopsided humps, okay? So... cool.
You leave their cheekbones alone.
Anyway, so that was my favorite recap.
That was a great one. When I was tasked to think about what animal to talk about, I decided to check up on the good old Canadian beaver.
It's Victoria's beaver updates.
An animal you probably don't really care about, and Canadians really hate, actually. Turns out this past summer in June, the beaver strikes again in Prince Rupert, British Columbia, which is on the very, very west side of Canada.
It looks very cold.
It does look very cold. Apparently, they had a cellular service, landline, and internet service die for more than 8 hours, all due to one single beaver. Apparently, it had gnawed its way through an aspen tree, which then fell on both the British Columbia hydro lines and Tello fiber optic cable lines. The power outage actually only affected 21 customers because, very small, very cold, not that many people. But the fiber optic damage actually affected not just the Prince Rupert area, but 15 neighboring towns and cities. On top of that, that tree that fell then resulted into a fire, resulting in bringing out the fire brigade. So it was one big fiasco. And it's really cute. The article wrote, while some appreciated the unconnected afternoon, the outage was a huge pain in the butt because no one could use credit cards. And you actually couldn't reach another gas station for another 2 hours. So good job, beaver.
I myself grew up in kind of more urban areas at best, like semi-suburban areas. I can't even imagine the next gas station being 2 hours away.
Can you imagine what those Canadians must feel like? It's like they see a beaver, they roll down the window, they're like, grrr!
I'll get you next time.
You've done it again. Yeah. Anyways, that's fun. Yeah.
Maybe not so fun for that time, but very right. Humorous for us.
Yes. And those aren't going away next year either. That's our selfish. That's our selfish. We like this content.
Thank you for subscribing to Beaver Watch. We will keep you updated with any and all beaver news.
Yeah. So, yay, animal fun fact. Woohoo!
All right, so let's wrap this episode up. This is the recap episodes. Of course, we have to.
The remix. Sorry, that's what I heard. Gloria's like, please, I have a cold. I cannot take much more of this.
I'm going to chug this hot toddy, and now it's a lukewarm toddy, but I'm going to chug this, and we're going to make our dreams and wishes for 2023. And also,
Gloria's like, please get Victoria to stop talking.
All right, okay. So we're going to talk about what we want to do for 2023. If by June you're like, hey, man, what the hell are my extra episodes? Please call us out. So first, the first dream and wish is more podcast episodes.
Oh, she likes me.
Yes. So
yeah, you're right.
We have talked about it.
Yeah.
We are going to work on keep this format to our podcast, but maybe work on shorter episodes in the interim, because the reality is, each of our episode right now in the past year average could be like an hour 20 minutes. It's a long time. It's even longer when we're recording.
2 hours almost.
It's just the two of us talking to the abyss and with each other for 2 hours. So we're going to try and make more episodes, but maybe make them a little shorter.
Yeah. I think it'll also be easier on us to make sure you guys get bite-sized information, the most relevant information, with a hint of jokes.
Just a hint. If you want the jokes to stop, Don't let us know.
write
It's gonna keep coming.
Yeah. You can. We'll put the address here to a volcano in Hawaii. You can send those complaints to. All right. We also talked about more blogs. Yes.
Totally happening. In terms of content verse in general, we will do more writing. I feel like live sessions have died, or I don't know if I'm just making it up, so we don't have to do live sessions anymore.
No, I truly feel, but we will definitely, the video content will continue, including on our Instagram, and we definitely want to, make sure we're focusing on a lot of products to make it more helpful when you're shopping for good skincare. I will say for the blogs, I feel like ever since we published the book, we're just like,
refer to the book. Skincare Decoded is wonderful.
Right, but we definitely need to do a bit of a science update. There are definitely new articles out there we should share, so definitely look forward to that in the future.
Yeah, I am, case in point, I am going to Japan in January. Excuse me, the hot toddy is no longer loosening up the throat, but I'll be taking you guys through shopping in Japan's pharmacy and definitely bring back lots of sunscreen and maybe doing a giveaway. So yeah, something to look forward to that will definitely happen in the winter.
For sure. Hatchery. Remember that word hatchery? For those of you who might not be familiar with it, that was our product incubator where we had followers, listeners sign up so that they could try the latest and greatest iteration of a formula that was going to be launched. And while with, working on Mr. Reliable, that has taken a little bit of backseat, we do have a few new launches planned as well. So stay tuned. That will definitely be picking back up next year. And we're really excited. That feedback has been so helpful on actually a few of our launches, including Baby Steps and Blank Slate. So yes, that's happening.
Yes. And next year, you heard it here first, we're gonna have a lot of new launches. By a lot, I mean not that many, but there's
but a lot for Chemist Confessions.
Yes. There's a few 2.0s that's been in the works. Mr. Reliable, we talked about. It's been in the works and be struggling with scale up for a long time. But we are very, very proud of where we went with this one. And can't wait to share it with everyone. Bon Voyage may be getting a facelift. There might
really
be
dropping a lot of,
SKU. I'm dropping
hot
too
news.
much. Woo. But there's a lot in the works. So this year we might actually hit 3 launches. Whoa!
News to me.
A lot of it's been in the works for a long time, so we're very excited.
I mean, while we are working on Mr. Reliable, there's definitely been a lot of formulas we've been looking at and working on as well in tandem. So just wait. I
wish we can sketch out like a roadmap of how the two of us launch things, and so chaotic. It's like, this is a good concept. I like these active. That doesn't work. I don't like this packaging. I don't know, man. Okay, let's shelve it for half a year.
But with good reason. Obviously, we never want to launch anything we would be proud of and just feel like, it's the chemist in us. It has to be just right. So, really excited for that. And finally, 2023 for the skincare industry, Gloria. How do we feel?
Well, I am anxiously excited. I hope this might be the last year we talk about this percentage train that has derailed. I think percentages, generally speaking, is not a bad idea. But we've seen so many like abused and like just why do you need that kind of numbers? Like, I'm hoping we can tune that back down a little bit.
Yeah, I think so. And I actually do feel like that trend has generally died off a little bit. You know what? I am a little worried though, because kind of like what you were saying about new technology and the biotechs, everybody, there's a lot of newness and a lot of just general tech that's coming into the industry. We might be even reverting back to the cycle of floofy extracts.
Oh yeah,
floofy, but like very, very, it just seems like it has such a great story, but it's also proprietary and mysterious. we might be going back to that era. So there's always more work for us next year to decode.
Yep.
Yeah. So we'll see. But other than that, it's been fun, guys. This year has been wild, and next year is going to be crazy because there's a lot in store for the brand. We've got a lot of really exciting content plans as well. So all in all, we really wish you guys, a happy holidays, and we will